Today, we're exploring North Hills, a place everyone's talking about. I'll walk you through everything you need to know before moving here, plus some local favorites along the way. There's a lot to share, so make sure you watch until the end. So a lot of people move in the North Hills specifically for a live, work, play type of lifestyle. So I'm over here in Midtown Park, which is more or less the central part of North Hills. And you can see right around me, there's mixed-use residential, high-density urban housing. So you're going to be as close to downtown to some of the other neighborhoods we've toured, except here, as opposed to the last two, which were historic, these are all modern, new development. I am going to park over here and walk. So all in all, it ended up being about $17. So we're gonna go ahead and head across the street over here in order to hit up the Midtown Park. All right, so you actually want to know a good indicator that you're living next to a lot of commercial amenities. It's be next to an REI. So REI, pretty much front and center, first thing you see when you pull in here. A little bit jealous. All right, so I got that coffee to go, iced coffee because it's still a little bit hot. But yeah, so one of the things about the Midtown Park right here is they typically host a lot of festivals, music events. There's been a number of times where I just come over here for food and walk outside and just see a whole ton of people where like they'll block off the sections so that people could sort of, I assume sell alcohol, honestly, right? A contained area to have alcohol. Yeah, interesting place. Definitely lots of places to live. Now, we're gonna just walk around and show you a little bit about Midtown Park. Now, up here to my left, these are pretty much lined throughout the entire Midtown Park. And there's also some apartments here and grocery store. So more or less, there's everything you need at a basic level. So there's 3 buildings over there, and I'm pretty sure they're all 3 major employers, mostly banks. I think it used to only be called North Hills. I'd have to double check the facts on it, but Midtown is actually more of a rebrand. It signifies the turn towards a modern commercial lifestyle. Hey, yeah, so you can actually see up there, 5th and 3rd bank. So there's that. Advanced Auto Parts. That's weird. I've never seen an Advanced Auto Parts headquarters that large. And then another one. This is called Park Central, Orange Theory, Cycle Bar, Arrow. I actually used to go to that Orange Theory Fitness back when I was still in the military. Once I got out, and this is probably a very common experience for any of you watching if you attempt to relocate, whether it be here or anywhere else, there's a bit of a dip or more of a transition point financially where you're going to want to be a bit more conservative with your spending. And that's just a risk mitigation factor. For me, once I officially got out, I stopped going to Orange Theory. And honestly, between rock climbing and running, like that covers all the cardio that I need. So this right here is interesting. Modern Indian. Looks sort of like a fine dining / bar. There's actually a lot of Indian cuisine shops out here for those that are interested in that. Triangle is very much known for technology and medical, especially the merging of those two. That's really the purpose of the Research Triangle Park. It was originally an agreement between the 3 major universities, that's NC State, UNC Chapel Hill, and Duke University, to foster collaboration and scientific pursuit of new medical practice. So, yeah, it's very common to see employers like that out here. So if you're in that industry or want to get in the industry, this would be a good spot to be as well. So a whole separate note, but I guess you could call it health related. Woodhouse Spa. I had no idea that was there. think we're at a hotel right now, actually, and there's just a spa inside of it. All right, so we could go left up here, and there's a lot more of sort of what you've seen over here. There's a Sky Bar over there. I mean, a couple of nice restaurants. But the social scene here is I think what brings people together. Now, for the sake of the video and not spending 20 minutes just walking around Midtown Park, because this is ultimately a neighborhood tour, I'm gonna go ahead and head back to the car so that you can see some of the neighborhoods that this place has to offer. So we're gonna split up into 3 sections, go northwest first, northeast, and then south. You know, ideally break it up into quarters, but honestly, just due to the housing concentrations, it makes more sense to break it up into thirds. You'll get an idea of what's available in terms of actually buying. All right, as we finish up at Midtown Park, I'm gonna head over to the northwest side. So that's gonna be one of the clusters of houses that we're gonna see. In doing so, I'm gonna run across some of the smaller roads here. Midtown basically has Six Forks Road and the Beltline, both of which are significantly major roads, and especially the North Raleigh area. So really, like, the rest of the neighborhood is more or less like this road we're on right in front of us. This is called St. Albans Drive. It's pretty much one of 3 roads that look like this, because the rest of the roads here are just residential roads. So yeah, St. Albans here. Next up, we have Camelot Drive, and then we have Lallister Road or something like that. Anyway, in any case, what you see here, this is more or less what you're gonna see when you're off of Six Forks Road. It's small side roads like this, pretty easy to get through. Like this person over here, pretty good walking score, running score, biking score. There's biking lane up here. So it's pretty chill once you're outside of the main road. This is Six Forks Road again, right? So across the street is the shopping center. That's where Bar Taco was. Six Forks Road is a north-south running road. And so when I go to the northwest side, the northeast side, and the south side, I'm pretty much using this road. So you could see why the congestion is the way it is. It's because you're mixing a huge shopping center with high density housing. Then if you live in the single family residences that are directly around this Midtown center, then literally all of those people are relying on this one road. Now, I don't know how much they're going to be able to expand this road in the future. I honestly don't know what those like overhead roads are called that you see in like New York City that are specifically designed for pass-through traffic, because they had that in Honolulu as well. I used to live in Hawaii, because like I don't see them expanding the road left and right, and if they do, it's going to cause immense traffic. So if you live right around Midtown, then this traffic will just be part of it, right? We are at our first house over here, and we're gonna go on about a 0.8 mile walk, and in that 0.8 miles we're gonna be able to see this home, which is listed. And if you see my previous videos, I'm not going in, just that requires seller's written permission. So we're gonna see things from the outside, mostly so you get an idea of the neighborhood. How does the neighborhood feel? How does it look? What it would be like living here in terms of lifestyle, walkability, things of that nature. Anyways, so we're gonna see this house, and there's one other one down the road. And along that route is gonna be the North Hills Club, which is one of the landmarks that I've picked out to show. You probably saw it in some of the B-roll, the intro to this video. So I'm gonna check all 3 of those places out and then hit the road to the northeast side. So this home here is 1013 Manchester Drive, and it is going for just shy of $3 million. So this will be our point of reference. This is what $3 million gets you, or this is the kind of home you get for that. But it's surrounded by more historic homes as well. You can see right across the street here. Now, just like the last 2 videos, this sort of a trend is very, very common here. The more central you are to downtown Raleigh, the more popular the area, the more likely you're gonna see these luxury, it's kind of on the low end luxury if you've ever seen like true luxury, but still a luxury home. Those are often built because it's a bit more, it's a higher return on investment, right? If you're a developer, that's how you put food on the table. That's how you pay your company, your employees. You're gonna do really well for yourself here if you could buy land, develop on it, and then sell it, which, by the way, if you're trying to decide between buying a new construction home or buying a home that's already made, that could be one of your considerations, right? Well, real estate over the course of decades is much more stable. So you could treat it like living in your investment. It's one of the few investments you could purchase and enjoy. And when you sell it, that's when you earn your gains. And of course, that comes with the risk of, hey, you know, you never know if the 2008 crash is right around the corner. I mean, obviously there should be signs, but I mean, never know, right? That's just part of the home buying process. All right, here's the North Hills Club. Yeah, they're building a whole dedicated pickleball court near where I live, which is near the historic Oakwood area that we saw in my first neighborhood tour video. Now, there should be other stuff here. I heard of basketball bouncing, so this is a basketball court. Just can't see it. From my understanding, there might be a golf course around here too. Can't tell. You know, I actually wear glasses. My prescription is so light that I could get away without wearing them, but seeing super fine details from far away, especially at night, it's a bit difficult. So some people are carrying around what looks to be golf clubs, or they could just be or tennis rackets or whatever. All right, so playground over here. Some little rock structure for all the future climbers out there. I didn't get into climbing till I was an adult, so, but I technically learned a lot on a playground. Then pavilion here for events. All right, so I'm assuming in the community center, it's lounges, things like that. Now, finding a lap pool here is clutch, right? Okay, so the normal pool is over there, but having dedicated lap swimming, I mean, especially in a club like this where surely families are gonna come to hang out and kids will be playing in the pool, it just helps make things a little bit more gel together, right? You don't have lap swimmers getting in the way of kids playing and, you know, swimming where they're jumping. And then if you're the lap swimmer, you don't have kids jumping where you're swimming, right? So it's actually a good spot to work out. Obviously in the winter, probably not, unless you don't mind the cold. I'm assuming right around this corner is just more parking lot. So I don't know what I was thinking about golf. I think whenever I look at something on Google Maps, it's just like a green lot. And I think if it's this community center, it might have a golfing icon, but it just means it's a recreational spot. So with that, we're crossing outside back into the residential area, and you can see it just seamlessly transitions back into the home. So you're gonna find budget homes here. Now, I could tell you, because I've already looked at the market before, of course I look at the market right before I make these videos, most of the homes for sale here are not these ones. A lot of them are new construction. They're similar to the ones that we saw when I first got out of my truck in this part of the neighborhood. And I mean, I don't think that's a new construction home, but it's still fairly new. I think within the past 4 years. Approach this with your own strategy in mind. If you're trying to find one of these smaller homes, you have plenty of time to wait and be patient. Then I would set up an automatic search filter. You could do this on Zillow, right? That's one of the things, you know, obviously I'm a realtor and that's how I make my living. But the great thing about websites like Zillow, realtor.com, all those places is it kind of, it puts a lot of independence in the hands of a buyer, because now you're no longer constrained to the realtor association to provide a multiple listing service. Well, specifically like old school style was you would have binders, and in these binders would be paper printouts of all the listings, right? So you had to have a realtor to even know what was on market, or you just had to know somebody that knew somebody. So use those tools. You could literally draw a boundary and set up your search parameters. You can cap it by price, cap it by beds, bath, whatever it is you want to do. And you have a pretty good idea, like if you could afford to wait when something pops up on the market. Now, if it's a deal, it's a deal, meaning there's a lot of people that are going for it. So it pays to be a little bit ready in that case, which typically consists of just getting your pre-approval done having the adequate savings so that you're not in like a panic on the back end after you purchase a property, right? Because you have to put down due diligence fee, earnest money deposit, you have to pay for inspections, attorney costs, loan officer costs. Almost certainly you're not really paying for realtor fees because there's a cooperating fee typically shared from the listing side of the house, but there could be. So anyways, if you have your finances in order before you're ready to submit an offer, especially if you're just waiting for a deal, that speed is going to set you apart. So that's my tip. So with that, actually, we are at our next home. There's more homes for sale in this area. These two are pretty good representations because what I'm doing is in each area, I'm going to pick one of the most expensive homes. Sometimes it's not going to be the most expensive because those are like construction sites that haven't been completed yet. But I'm also going to pick the cheapest homes in the area. Create a range, right? You can see how far your money goes in neighborhoods like this. So this is 4907 Yadkin Drive. It is listed for $900,000. This is actually a very standard Southern home. You see the red brick, typical roofing, looks sort of like a split level. But yeah, carport on the side. It's pretty uncommon to find a garage. Like, it's mostly a limitation of land. Yeah, so with that, if you want to see inside any of these homes, reach out, by the way. If I'm going in unrepresented by myself, I need the seller's permission. If I'm representing you, like an actual signed agreement, all my fiduciary responsibilities support you as the buyer, then I could film for you. I can't release it for marketing, but I could film for you. Keep that in mind. See a place like this, it's nice to know that they're keeping these trees. I don't know how you feel about trees in homes, but I oftentimes find with new construction homes, especially like the mass-produced ones like you'll see in Wake Forest, which Wake Forest is a great area to live, right? Or Nightdale, great area to live. It's just, those are more like industrialized development areas. So like that's where you're finding homes going for like the 450K mark, where they just buy a huge lot of land, develop a plat, get it approved by the city, and then develop a whole neighborhood or subdivision. A lot of times they take out trees like that and it just looks like a barren wasteland. And nice homes, you get all the benefits of new construction, but also the feel of new construction. So in my mind, if you could have a new construction home and have nature integrated, you're doing good. So I was heading back to the car to go to the northeast side of North Hills, or specifically Midtown, right? But saw this from over the hill, looked super nice. I don't believe this is for sale, but maybe it is. There was a couple of homes all in this direct area that are being developed. So let's walk down there, check this one out. So it's definitely not for sale. Pretty sure that's the owner that just pulled up. And yeah, there's like a jet ski parked in the side. But architecture style wise, I think it's done pretty well. Triangle parade of homes. So yeah, I bet a lot of homes in this area were featured. So parade of homes, once a year. If you're interested in the luxury market, there's an event. It's at least 1 day long, but it might be 2 days long. I didn't go to it this year. It was literally this past weekend. You're gonna get a series of builders who all enter their homes into the parade. It costs them money to do this, right? And it puts them on this list of homes that you could see, and there's awards that are given out as like the winner. So it's a huge design and architecture, interior design, everything in that realm of real estate event. All the homes that are entered in the parade of homes, at the time of entering, they're almost certainly not under contract, meaning they're still for sale. Sometimes, because the homes are so nice, they entered into the parade of homes and it goes under contract before they even have the parade of homes, but they still honor it and you can walk through it. So you'll run across homes that are definitely under contract, not for sale anymore, but super cool event. All right, so we're at 4218 Lambeth Drive. This is one of the nicer new construction homes in this neighborhood. We're down on the northeast side, but here's why you want somebody on the ground, right? Because if you look at Zillow, which super nice home, and then you look at the home, and it's an empty lot, right? Now, good news is, usually what that means is if you reach out to them, go under contract, sometimes the builder is going to offer incentives. You might be able to customize the home to your liking. So not necessarily a bad thing. It's just, you know, you might be out of state looking at these homes on Zillow, right? And you see it says new construction, it's great. And then you go through all this process to try to submit an offer, or you just have your realtor ask about it and it's like, oh yeah, sorry, this is just an empty lot, right? Now, a luxury home, I would say you're doing average speed. I mean, it's a balance of speed versus quality and construction, but an average speed, you're looking at like 9 months, I would say, maybe 12 for a really nice luxury home. There are homes that I've been seeing built in like 2 to 3 months, right? Depending on how professional the company is. But just for your own expectation management, right? If you're just seeing an empty lot like that, like, I mean, realistically, so it's what, October now, that home's probably not even gonna be ready until next spring, which is during the busy season. So I guess one of the advantages is if you lock in the rate now, you're gonna get it cheaper, because right now we're entering into the off season, which is fall and winter. Homes are typically harder to sell. It's just slower to sell, right? So not as many on the market, not as many people trying to buy. So you might be able to get it for a good deal before spring hits and prices go up. So the neighborhood's very similar to the last one, which is of course what we would expect. So older homes like this one here, and then newer homes like that one there. These ones tend to have some class like that, and then those tend to have modern luxury. Pretty quiet neighborhood. I actually stopped filming because I think there's a elementary school here. I'm not going through the whole ordeal of just having random kids on camera and having them blur out the faces, so I just shut off the camera completely. So yeah, plenty of people walking around. Quiet street. I mean, super nice tree there. Little tree swing. And long straight road. These are the roads that when you run down, you feel super fast. And when you get to the other side and you have to run back uphill, you have to pretend that you're not struggling in front of all the cars driving by. This is more or less how my neighborhood is. It's all just up and down constantly. Jim Allen Group, Coldwell Banker. Pretty standard company. Right across the street there, you see some construction. And then this is literally like pre-sales available, right? Building company. You see a house here. This is a great just case in point of the typical development approach around here, just because land isn't getting any more available, right? So they're just buying old homes and building on it, right? So great indicator if you want to secure some equity and appreciation over time. Coming up on 517 Compton, which is also a home for sale. Looks like it might be owner occupied, but this home, it is the cheapest single family residence that's currently listed at $800,000. 2 stories on the right side, main floor for the rest of the home, which is pretty standard. You look around at the neighbors, like right over there, split level seems common. I mean, it's possible those are people that are just touring the home. Now, I was gonna show you a condo that is also for sale. I think that's in the 500s, which would actually be the cheapest home for sale in this area, but it's like right off the main road. So that's a great thing for you, but in terms of the logistics of parking and getting there and not like disrupting downtown rush hour traffic, I'm not gonna do that. There's a chance we even saw the condo while we were driving, and I just didn't even know that we were driving past it. So over there, 800K. It's very close in price to the first one we saw in the Northwest neighborhood. The feel of the neighborhood is kind of the same. Now, I will say this area, which is surprisingly closer to the Midtown Park, is not as developed as the original Northwest side. And I wonder if part of that is just, again, availability of land, right? Because like the people that are living here right now, like if they've lived here for a long time and they have no reason to move, like why would they? The location's gold, right? Like if they're fine with the home they live in then it gives them a great option whenever they do decide to sell, if they decide to sell. So yeah, you know, these developers have to work around what they have, but obviously you could still see places here where there's already a lot of development, but not quite as much as the northwest neighborhood that we were at. So, but other than that, let's go and head over to the south side. So I must have missed this when I was looking online, but I actually, on the way back, ran into another home for sale, going at $665,000, 3 beds, 2 baths, about 1,800 square feet. This is actually the cheapest single family residence. You know, side driveway, looks kind of split level actually, like you would walk in the front door and go downstairs into the main floor. Small backyard, fenced in. So in terms of affordable housing, well, affordable from the perspective of the other homes in this neighborhood, right? Because affordable housing is a very specifically defined term based on median income. But anyways, that's a better budget option for this area. Now, if you compare what I filmed and showed you to what you see on Zillow, again, now the reason why you want somebody on the ground looking at the homes, right? Everything there, like probably in terms of an investment perspective, super great. The photos, in my opinion, this is always true, right? Because as a realtor, you deal with marketing, and part of marketing is presenting an appealing image to get people to click on it. Once they click on it, they scroll through the house, right? So like step number one is get them to click on it. So I get why that's the case, but I would say approach any home you find online with cautious optimism. Be optimistic about it, but don't be surprised if you're disappointed at the same time, because sometimes a home doesn't really look like what it does online. I'm just purely talking about the front, the outside part of that home relative to the photo that's posted online. I mean, who knows? Like, I didn't go inside the home. Like, it's probably fine. Maybe not. That's why you inspect the home before you go in. That's why you also inspect it when you're under contract. Yeah, just wanted to point that out to you, in case you've never bought a home and run into that before. So anyways, if I run into anything else on the walk, I will be sure to film that. One thing worth pointing out, because I am on my way back and I'm coming at it from a different angle, right? Because I'm walking back to my vehicle, and that's the skyline. So that's Midtown Park. So you could see literally from here how close Midtown is. Looks like somebody might be tearing down a home again. I don't know. It's hard to say. But anyways, yeah. So long straight road goes all the way down there. You can see the skyline. And then, I mean, unless you're buying groceries, you could just walk there, right? So it's a decent walking score. Definitely you can get your steps in pretty easily around here. And just filming this video alone, and honestly the past two, definitely the first video, neighborhood tour, I'm walking about 5 miles per video, just filming, right? Because you guys don't get to see all of the in between, because that'd just be excruciatingly boring. Unless it's not, and that's what you actually want to see, is just an unedited, uncut, silent tour, then I could do that too. But anyways, yeah, you could definitely get your steps in around here. Fairly easy to be active. All right, so we are now on the south side of Midtown, and the way that I'm defining south side is below the belt line, so 440. And this is not the most expensive home that's listed on the south side, but it's one of the nicer, like higher end ones. So you develop like a sixth sense of awareness of what loud things are around you when you're filming. But anyways, it is going for 1.6 million. It is a 3409 Rock Creek Drive. So there's a new construction that is one day live right down this road. So let's do a quick walk this way, check it out. But the other end of the spectrum, the cheaper place that I want to show you, it's also a condo. It's like I had mentioned in the northeast side, but I have to cross Six Forks Road. So I'm actually just going to drive there. So I'm not going to do one walking stretch there and back like I normally do. And then also I'd like to point out, for no apparent reason, I just kind of realized, I was like, why have I been wearing my backpack on all of these walks? Because usually when I head into a commercial space, I carry my backpack, because as I go in and out of buildings, I might switch the either from a selfie stick to a tripod or whatnot. And so it's nice to have this on, but when I'm just walking around, I've literally been walking around with the backpack on for no reason other than just to look like the cool kid on the block. So that's an interesting design over there. And I know there are going to be people that don't like that design. Very modern. I like all types of architecture personally, so I don't mind that. But some people don't like the modern look. They say it looks like a children drew like a lunchbox on a piece of paper. It just is what it is, right? Sharp edges, minimalist, that's kind of the new design. So this right here, it's a new lot. It's been listed for 1 day. This one is supposed to go 2.2 million. 5 beds, 4 bath, 3,800 square feet. So more expensive than the one we just came from. Not the most expensive in this neighborhood. So we're looking at 2.8 mil as the most expensive. I guess the small little section here by Platt is known as Bellevue Terrace, which, I mean, more or less like everything around here is just orbiting Midtown. So North Hills, Midtown, it's all the same to me. Now, North Hills, if you go on Google Maps, look it up, it extends quite a bit west, closer towards the North Carolina Museum of Art. I don't know if by the city of Raleigh that is accurate in terms of registered neighborhoods and boundaries and things like that. I don't want to show out that far. I see that it's kind of like a different area of Raleigh altogether, even if it is considered North Hills. North Hills is characterized as a modern live, work, and have fun area. Everything centers around the mid park and that shopping center. All right, so with that, don't really need to walk around this neighborhood a little bit more. So we're gonna drive across the street, check out the last spot. I'm right outside the condo. I think it's the corner lot over there, but came across a sign by city zoning, tenant notice by the planning commission that the zoning is changing from about 3 stories of office mixed use to 20 stories with conditions. So what that means is there's an indication that this area plans to get developed. Now, as soon as I came across that belt line to the south side, right, south of 440, I immediately noticed a change in the development, right? You could see a lot of the older style houses over here, kind of untouched communities. Now, where I was at is obviously one of the ones that's getting developed out, right? But yeah, these are the condos here. One of these is for sale. I believe it's this one, but I didn't see a sign out front saying it was. So appreciation will go up, right? Congestion, urban sprawl will go up. So, you know, there's a bit of a balance to it, but you are very close to a lot of amenities from here. You're kind of in a ideal location, because you're not exactly downtown, but you're in between downtown Raleigh and RTP. I was actually heading in the right direction. On the map, Google Maps, it shows this, put on Zillow, which is what I use when I'm on the go, right? Because honestly, it's more user-friendly than the MLS. Oh, okay, so 3751's right ahead of us. That's so weird. I wonder if the HOA doesn't allow for signs. $372,500. So you are not getting that anywhere else here. 2 beds, 2 baths, 1,000 square feet. So obviously smaller, but small family, but young professional is sort of what I imagine with this. You know, if you're, I'd say, out of college, have a job, looking to buy your first home, buy it here, house hack it, which is to get a roommate, which helps pay, aka subsidize your rent, make it even more affordable, and then wait it out. Stay here for a while. I would recommend, with this kind of a strategy, try to stay in that home for 2 to 5 years, or that condo for 2 to 5 years before moving out. Keep it as part of your rental portfolio. It may not cash flow right away if interest rates are very high, plus HOA fee, but what you're gonna get in appreciation on the value of the land is where you're gonna make your money. So entry-level home, good for an investment portfolio, definitely the most affordable home around here. And I think the other condo was for like 500 something. Glad to be able to show a full range of homes with that. So with that, gonna head back to Midtown Park and give you some of my final thoughts.
All right, so just to wrap up some of the closing thoughts about North Hills,
A couple of my notes. So as far as like if you're in the Midtown Park vicinity, so directly either here or across the street where we're at for Bar Taco, the walkability score is going to be better than a lot of the other places you could live at. That being said, if you're not immediately in here, you're going to need a car, 100%. Which you saw some of the traffic, at least in the main intersection of 440 with Six Forks Road, get quite congested, but still a decent walking score depending on what you're looking for. And then as far as price, obviously on the pricier side, but in terms of appreciation, the land here, there's not much of it available, meaning what's here is here to stay. Whether homes are torn down and new ones are built is TBD, but more or less, you should have one of the much higher appreciation rates. Then, of course, one of the more obvious ones is the commercial amenities. You have the mall / shopping center across the street from Midtown Park, and then within Midtown Park, you have a lot of restaurants and sort of what I would call like boutique shops. And then if I wasn't apparent in the video, of course, people are going to be concerned about safety in general. There are some sketchier parts of Raleigh, but North Hills is definitely not one of them. So pretty safe, should be apparent, show don't tell, right? You should be able to see it, form your own opinion. But overall, definitely can see why it's one of the most popular places to live in Raleigh right now. And so with that, if you're looking for any help finding a place here, any place that I showed, if you want to see inside it, let me know. Otherwise, let me know other neighborhoods that you want to see. Thanks.